Education in Idaho is broken up into 6 different regions. Our region here in the Magic Valley, Region 4, is right here in green on the map. Districts across our region have kept the same basic skeleton when it comes to back-to-school plans based around that color-coded level system. But although the meat and bones of the plans are the same across the region, it allows the districts to tailor the plans specifically to them.
This is Idaho News 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Natasha.Williams. A grand opening celebration quickly turned into a scary situation at Soldier Mountain Resort today. The resort's new owners had planned to celebrate the opening of their new bike park. Instead, the Phillips fire forced everyone to evacuate. If you like stormy weather and overcast skies, I have some great news for you. We are tracking a storm system that's going to start impacting us tomorrow, and then check out Thursday all day long, some high chances of precipitation, and then even through the weekend. But for now, let's take a look at this time lapse from McCall this morning. Isn't that gorgeous? And then throughout the day, and then McCall is going to see a chance of some snow from this storm system that's going to impact us here in the Treasure Valley and other mountain areas as well. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But first, let's talk about what's happening right now. And right now, we're experiencing those mild conditions, that sunshine. When a firefighter does get that call to go out on the field, there's a lot of gear they need to make sure they're ready. One is this yellow shirt, which is heat resistant and flame resistant, and these chaps, which help protect their legs when they're operating a chainsaw. They also have to have their line pack, a chainsaw, gas and oil for the chainsaw, and of course, a hard hat. A green level means it's business as usual for the schools with in-person classes. A yellow level means there will be a stricter focus on COVID-19 precautions like social distancing. The school district describes the orange level as a hybrid. Half of the students will continue learning here in school. The other half would be learning here online at home. That would be determined by an A-day, B-day type schedule. Level red means students would be back to complete distance learning. The district says they're still working on a final plan as to what the new graduation will look like, but say they plan to release those details to the graduating seniors and their parents first. Now, before we leave you, I do want you to take a look at these positive messages all across, literally from wall to wall on the pavement in front of Minico High School. Messages like, "We miss you, we appreciate you, you are amazing." Positive messages not only to the graduating seniors, but to the teachers that taught them as well. Asking for help used to mean making an appointment and visiting the therapist's office in person. But now, with telehealth options available, experts believe more people will feel comfortable seeking treatment. The reason social distancing is a rule in the first place is to help prevent the spread of the virus on droplets that come out of your mouth and your nose, especially when you sneeze or cough. So how is a food processing plant different from other workplaces? Try to think about it like this. Most other workplaces are able to maintain that 6 feet of social distance, but food processing plants are built to have the employees work much closer together. And remember those droplets I told you about? With a shorter distance to travel, the chances of the virus spreading are much higher. So why is a strategic plan so important for school districts? Try to think about it like this. If you were working on a construction project, you could, in theory, do it without a blueprint, but every builder knows having one makes the job a lot easier, and you can make changes to it as you go along. A strategic plan works the same way.
Elk depredation isn't a new problem.
We have more elk than we've ever had.
But it's an expensive one.
As elk herds grow and as potential damages escalate, that's a cost to producers and growers.
In 2018, Fish and Game paid more than $1 million raised from extra fees on fishing and hunting licenses for crop damage. Most went to one farmer who does not allow hunting access on his land. Managers say their efforts to reduce depredation cut that expense by 75% in 2019. One of the methods they used was Fish and Game sharpshooters, who killed 204 elk at night as part of a University of Idaho research project. Most of those elk were feeding on that one farmer's organic potatoes. Social media posts claiming the meat was wasted created an internet backlash.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
The meat was taken by refrigerated truck to a processor. When it was butchered, Fish and Game's partners at Idaho Hunters Feeding the Hungry went to work.
20,000 pounds of meat and then a 1/4 pound of protein for a meal produces 80,000 meals.
They donated the meat to 9 food pantries across the Magic Valley region. A donation the food pantries say came just in time. They're working to meet an unprecedented need for food thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic.
By having that donated and being a free resource to us, those dollars then can be spent in other areas that we don't have things donated, like beef or hamburger.
So far this year, Fish and Game says they have not used sharpshooters in the Magic Valley region. Instead, they're focusing on other non-lethal methods like hazing that uses noisemakers and other methods to scare elk away from crops.
The hazing idea is to change elk behavior. If that works and we don't have to do anything else, that's great. I mean, that would be our perfect situation.
Managers say it's starting to pay off.
At the property where we've had a lot of issues in the past near Little Camas Reservoir, our technicians have been hazing since July 15th, and the elk use in those agriculture fields has been extremely low.
And they say they would like to see more landowners allow hunting on their properties.
We were trying to take a more like proactive managed hunting approach, and landowners weren't specifically interested in allowing us to try to look into that program.
While the landowner who received more than $1 million in 2018 is not participating, a few are, and managers say it's working.
Fish and Game accompanied sportsmen and women out onto a property that has historically allowed very little public access. So we were successful there.
Fish and Game has also issued kill permits to landowners struggling with elk depredation. In Twin Falls, Natasha.Williams, Idaho News 6.